Hey, hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. I hope you're all doing well wherever you might be in this whole wide world. It is very late Sunday evening when I'm recording this one. I just came out of a fantastic meetup with some like-minded people. So I won't be japping too long about this, but I want to give you a background. So it all started with Paul from Barack P. Dub's YouTube channel reaching out to my dear friend Jen from Jen's Addictions YouTube channel. And then they reached out to me and Tim from High Noon's Vinyl channel as well. And Paul said, listen guys, I have a great idea. I want to talk about the 12-inch single. And I was like, ooh, because that happens to be my favorite format when it comes to records, really. The 12-inch single. I have more 12-inch singles in my record collection than I have actual albums. That's how much I love it. So I was like, I'm game. When do we start? So said and done, we just, like I said, came out of that call, and what a wonderful time I had talking all about the 12-inch single, of course, but music in general as well. What a lovely bunch of people. Jen, my dear friend from Jen's Addiction, I, of course, knew since before. We've done some collabs here, and other collabs I've been doing here. We have an ongoing series that's just started, The Swedish Connection, with my dear friend Mikael from Sweden, and that you're going to see more of going forward. But this is yet another connection, another US connection, you might say, but it's the four of us, the vinyl bunch, really. And I'm so glad, because this is why I started this channel, to reach out to like-minded people, to connect with them. It could be through, comments down in the videos, you having a back and forth talking about music, or you could write emails to each other, but nothing beats meeting up. I was about to say in person, but at least meeting up and talking to each other about our favorite subject, music. Yeah, so what a great time with a great bunch of people. So now I just want to say to you guys who are watching this, before we roll the clip here, that please put down in the comments your answers to the questions that we are being asked in this episode about 12-inch singles, because I'm really curious about what you would answer on these ones, because we're all different. We like different genres of music, perhaps, or yeah, you have a different take on it than we had, for example. So please tell me all about it down in the comments. And also down in the description, I will have links to Jen's channel, of course, Paul's channel, Barack P. Dub, and Tim's channel, High Noon's Vinyl channel. So please go and check those out. They have some really great content there. And I also want to say, before we roll this clip, that it's a pretty lengthy one. You might have already noticed that, but I urge you, stay to the end, because if you're as passionate about music, and especially the 12-inch format, the 12-inch single, you want to stay for this one. It is, at least in my opinion, a very interesting conversation. So please stick with this, with us to the end. But now, without any further ado, let's roll the clip.
So welcome, everyone. This was kind of started by me today. And so this is exclusively on 12-inch singles, which I do not see a whole lot of in the vinyl community. And I have brought along 3 12-inch single lovers with me, and we are going to talk about 12-inch singles for the next hour or more. So thank you for joining us. And so we have 10 questions that we're all going to walk through. And to kick off the first question, we'll just kind of go around. But I want to know, why do you collect 12-inch singles, and just what is the appeal? So Jen, we'll start with you.
Hello, and thank you so much for organizing it and getting us all together. I'm super excited. And that is a easy yet hard question. But I would say the appeal for me at the time usually was you could get, back when I first started, so as a teenager, I guess I should say, you could get variations of songs you never got before. I was getting 12-inch singles from other countries, which I thought was really quite, exotic and fantastic. And I loved the size, the format, the artwork, and it just seemed to be a cool way to expand my collection. So it was almost like a no-brainer when you could see them. It was extra exciting. 45s were so common, but 12 inches were extra special. So.
All right, Tim.
Again, thanks for organizing this one, and welcome everybody. For me, my love of 12 inches started when hip hop started to get introduced into the mainstream in the late 70s, when Rapper's Delight came out from the Sugar Hill Gang and started to branch out beyond the New York City sounds. The only way you could get it was on a 12-inch single. I think there was 45s eventually pressed or whatever, but it was predominantly on a 12-inch single. So as more songs like that started to come out from New York in that sound, they were 12-inch singles. So just it started my interest, my collecting of the format. And it turns out that they actually, because of the size and the groove, they sounded better than a 45 or an LP cut could ever do.
All right, Tobias.
Yeah, thank you for having me on this group chat. This is something that I'm really, really passionate about. For me, it all started out with 7-inch singles, a lot of them, because that was basically the only thing I could afford back in the 80s. But the 12-inch, the lure of a 12-inch was always there because, like Jen mentioned as well, you could get different versions of them, longer versions of your favorite tracks and different remixes. And you usually got some bonus tracks as well, things that weren't on the B-side, for example, on the 7-inch single. And as soon as I could afford picking up a 12-inch single from one of my favorite artists, I took that chance. And I never looked back. I probably have more 12 inches than albums in my record collection at the moment.
Wow. So you guys actually hit on 3 different areas, exactly identical to mine as to why I collect 12 inches. So Tim, you hit on overall sound quality. So I'm just going to show Prince's Purple Rain, popular song. The singles sound so much more dynamic than what you get on the LP. Jen, you mentioned that, hey, different variations, different lengths, and absolutely that's one of the reasons why I also collect. And then Tobias, I mean, just listening to you guys talk about the 12-inch singles, it also exposes me to artists that I haven't delved into, and sometimes getting a single is cheaper than buying a full-fledged album. So that's one of the reasons. And another reason is even in the CD market, I don't know how this is coming out, but there are now 12-inch single compilations. So here's another one. So Shep Pettibone, who was a famous remix artist. So there are a bunch of now CD compilations of just 12-inch singles, which I love. So I'm fascinated by you guys, and I love seeing the 12-inch singles that you're sharing. So the next question is, show me a well-known single. Everyone should know the song. So Jen, what do you got?
Okay, in that case, Prince's "Let's Go Crazy." And
Wait, are y'all like communicating between the emails? We didn't know.
Yeah, it should be interesting to see how many crossovers we're going to get on this.
Yeah,
and
very much so.
I do have another one, but I was taking this question one of 2 ways. One that, like how you just phrased it, or one that I think everybody should know. And if that's the case, then it's "I Feel Love" from, Bronski Beat and Mark Almond from Soft Cell, because this is an amazing 12-inch. But everybody should know "Let's Go Crazy."
Oh,
and this
absolutely.
Is my husband's favorite version. It isn't. We have a huge debate. We don't fight about much in this house, I'm telling you. But the foot stomp with on the piano, he loves that. I'm not so sure that's my thing, and that might be one of our biggest arguments. But yeah, that was my pick.
I have that in my collection, but I can't reach it from here. But is that the extended version of it, or was it
It's
just a long version?
special dance mix, 7 minutes
Yeah.
and 35 seconds.
It's a special dance mix, yeah.
And it has
It's a good
Erotic
one.
City on the other side.
Yeah, even better.
Yes, I think so. For
Such
sure.
a great 12-inch.
And I think, yeah, and it's just that kind of label,
Yeah.
the flowers and the.
Yeah, I think everything that came off the Purple Rain album had the same label.
Yeah.
Well, it was funny because you get so used to seeing the Paisleys on
Yeah.
his stuff that then when it doesn't, like, then I kind of feel like it must be not legit.
Right. All right, Tim,
Okay.
what do you got?
So I pulled two, one because of the sound, and two, you just mentioned him. Madonna's Vogue
Oh, yeah.
12-inch. I mean, everyone knows Vogue, but the remix on here by Shep Pettibone, there was something between the 80s and early 90s with Madonna. She really worked really closely with Shep Pettibone, and all of his remixes were just fantastic. The other one I pulled just because of the sound quality was Herbie Hancock's Rocket.
Yeah.
I absolutely love the video. There's a mega mix of the DJ who does the scratches on this, Grand Mixer DST. He did a mega mix of the kind of that future sound that Herbie Hancock was into, and it's only on 12-inch single, which I highly recommend. But the sound on this, the single edit, the LP edit, it's worth having it because it's just absolutely fantastic.
Oh, all right, Tobias.
Well, I choose this one. See if I
Oh,
can get it in
nice.
focus here. It is, of course, ABC and The Look of Love. And I think everyone should know about this one. It's, I think, the breakthrough record, really, for Trevor Horn as a producer. And what he did with The Lexicon of Love, the album, is absolutely amazing, of course. But this 12-inch has 4 parts of The Look of Love. So you will get the whole suite, so to speak, of The Look of Love. And it's absolutely fantastic 12-inch. And the string arrangements by Ann Dudley, not to be forgotten at all. This is quite a journey, really, through all the different iterations of The Look of Love. Not to be confused with some of the special mixes that turned up at some point where they went crazy on the samplers and sampled Martin Fry's voice to oblivion. No, this is a clean mix of The Look of Love. So this is what I think everyone should have in their collection, or at least listen to at some point.
All right, so I'm going to go with the #1 selling 12-inch single of all time.
Yes.
And yeah,
I almost
New
pulled
Order's
that
Blue
too.
Monday.
And you got the original cover as well with the die.
Yes, after the floppy disk. So yeah, I think everyone knows this iconic song. So enough said.
Yes.
All right.
I love that one.
That's
And
Such a good
found-
song.
I found my copy of that 12-inch in a really tiny town in Indiana in like a dollar bin type scenario. Like they could have cared less about any. And yeah, that was great. It was such a great day.
All right. Next question. A single where you prefer the remix over the album version or the radio edit? Jen, what do you have?
I went with Kate Bush's Big Sky. I think this particular version, I love a lot of rhythm, and I feel that this really brings a ton of, sorry if my camera's bad, a ton of good rhythm and beat and bass, which I adore. And I don't know if it is more up-tempo, but it definitely feels more up-tempo to me. And I love it. I love this version so much. It's the meteorological mix is what it's called. And the second side is Not This Time and The Morning Fog are the 2 songs off of it, but that's my favorite. I think when I saw your question, it just popped into my head immediately because I think I tell people all the time, like, oh my gosh, you should listen to Big Sky. And it's just kind of a dark, nothing too crazy, but there we go. Good old
All
Kate.
right. Tim.
So this, out of all the questions and prompts that we had, this was the one that I thought of instantly when I saw this. And it's because the first thing I bought was the album when I heard their first single, and was a little disappointed at how the album was put together because I thought the singles were better. And that was Soul to Soul.
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
Soul to Soul, the Jazzy B really focused on the club, the dance, the feel. And with this one, I thought Keep On Moving was great and really introduced the world. But Back to Life was something special. And that groove, you could play it for an hour. You didn't want it to end. It just kept going, and it was so good. I'd hear it on the radio, and it's like 3 minutes later, it's like, no, it's not enough. So I actually bought the 12-inch on a European import when I was DJing, when the moment I saw it, and I had to have it, and I played it to death. This is probably my fifth copy because I can't not play this on a regular basis. I picked this copy up probably 3 months ago, and I still haven't filed it. I can't. It's just too good. But yeah, that one by far blows every other version.
Great.
Completely away.
Really great one.
All right, Tobias.
Okay, so we might have. I was afraid we're going to have a crossover here, but we haven't got one still. But we do have a crossover with an artist, Prince, The Future, and on the B side, Electric Chair. And I love the Batman soundtrack that he did. I love every single track on it, ever since it was released.
Yes.
But this version of especially The Future blows the original out of the water. It's Mark Moore from S-Express and William Orbit who remixed this one. And it is funkier, more dance-friendly, if you can say that. It's just overall a better 12-inch. It's such a great one. An Electric Chair on the B side. Wow. Great stuff.
Good.
All right.
It's one I need to find.
Yeah.
So I've seen you guys feature this one. So this one needs no introduction, and that is Soft Cell, Tainted
Yes.
Love with Where Did Our Love Go? And so the radio edit just covers Tainted Love. I need where did our love go? I need the Supremes. I need the full length, and the only way to get that was to get the 12-inch single.
And
That's
some
a
Andy
good one.
Warhol art.
Yep.
That's awesome.
And I actually had that as a runner-up for a record that everyone should have listened to or have.
I almost pulled that one as well. I have to agree. If you just get Tainted Love, it feels incomplete.
Yeah.
It
When
feels
you
like
know
the
you're
old the old bit from Who Framed Roger Rabbit, where you just start the shave and the haircut, and you're dying for the payoff, and it's not there.
It's so true.
All right. Next question. An artist in which you have more than one 12-inch single. Jen.
Yeah. I have a couple, but the ones that really stick out, and I should have took a note of count, but Susie and the Banshees. I have a couple dozen plus, and Duran Duran. I had a lot of Duran Duran, but Susie and the Banshees, I think, is really, yeah.
I was expecting Blondie.
Well, yeah. Well, she's up there too. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I mean, considering, and Paul was so nice to forward me info about a Blondie single. And I was like, wow, that's really cool. And then I thought, wait a minute. And I had it. So almost
Tim.
Blondie for sure.
Yeah. Tim, what do you got?
For me, there was a couple I could have choose from, but I wanted to show this one just because it's so cool. And that's DJ Shadow.
Yes.
So what this one is this was before the Introducing album, which really broke a lot of ground and barriers. for DJ Shadow. This was on the Soul Sides label, kind of an independent release. And this is Influx. Influx was reissued on Preemptive Strike, which was a bunch of his singles after the success of Introducing. But if you notice there, it captures his original full name band, DJ Shadow and the Groove Robbers, and that's what he named his turntables.
Ah,
It's cool.
Which I thought was just a bizarre thing to do, is naming his I'm sorry, not Influx, Entropy. Yeah, so I mean, I've got that. I've got remixes from DJ Shadow that he did for King Gizzard, where he did a remix and then it's pressed backwards, where the whole song plays backwards. I actually got 2 copies of like You Can't Go Home Again. DJ Shadow by far, he not only puts bonus beats, but he has some fantastic remixes on all of his singles. To me, I'm a huge fan. Easy to pick up anything that I see from him, even if it's just a remix.
It's cool.
All right, Tobias.
okay, so I had plenty to choose from as well when it comes to the artists that I have most 12 inches of. I think it's probably Frankie Goes to Hollywood, which is weird because they only released 7 singles, and I think I have well over 60 12 inches with them.
Wow.
Wow.
But that's not because they released 2 or 3 12-inch singles for each of the singles, but that's not why I have so many. It's because I have different pressings of them, and it's just stupid, really. But so
It's not
I will
stupid.
leave that to the side and go with the ones that I only have one, not several copies of each 12-inch, and that is Bananarama. I have well over, I think it was 47 I counted to today.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Wow.
I love it. I thought maybe that was a winner.
yeah. So
and what's funny
Frankie,
is that if you think about the U.S. charts, at least because 3 of us are here in the U.S., we had Venus and Cruel Summer. That was pretty
Yeah.
much what we knew them for.
that's
But when you
basically-
dig into their catalog, they had so much great stuff. I can only imagine some of those additional remixes or edits or something like that. They have to be phenomenal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's where I really struggle because, before we started recording here, really, I think your geographical location really influences what you listen to some degree.
Mhm.
And Tobias, I mean, you're originally from Sweden and now you're in the UK, and things that were hits in Europe and the UK never really made it over here at
Right.
all. And then even inside of the United States, you had regional things that were popular that never circulated outside of their region. So this is why I'm really enjoying this videos. Yeah, Bananarama, it's like Tim said, they only had 2 big hit singles here, and that was
Yeah.
it.
That's it. And another thing, just touching on Bananarama and what you just said, is Stock Aitken and Waterman, the production trio. They were huge here in Europe, but I don't think they really broke through in the US. Well, with Bananarama, of course, and perhaps Rick Astley's first 2 singles or something like that. But that's basically it.
Right?
Because I don't think Kylie ever been that big in the US.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, it is. Even with the new material as well. I mean,
yeah, she's
from
fantastic.
93
It
going
really
forward.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I will tell you, I'm a big Kylie fan. In fact, I
good.
considered pulling one of her albums for today, and I had them snagged this morning. I have 2 versions of her single "Slow."
Yeah.
But yeah, my exposure to Kylie was really when I was living in Europe.
Yeah.
But yeah, here it's like she probably had a couple of hits, and really, yeah, nobody knows her, and she's been making music since the late 80s.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think again, being in a college town in the Midwest, I worked at a record store as a teenager in my early college career. And the guys were nice. I could order stuff. Like you just had I was a little more able to be exposed to things. And I was in a decent proximity to Chicago. So every now and then you would get that something that you just couldn't hear once you got close into the city and you could click on the loop and you could listen. You're like, okay, like, what is that? And I keep a paper and pencil in the car because I'd be writing down, like, what did they say? What did they say? That was about, it was it. That's how I discovered, I think it was Atlantic Star and Herbie Hancock's Rocket. I was driving across country on a family trip down to Florida and hit the Atlanta radio stations. And you're just like, what is this magic that I'm hearing? So.
All right. So I'm a little more obscure. I had a couple bands, and I'm just going to grab a few because with this band, I cannot show all the covers. They're a little risque and I don't want to get blocked, but there is a DJ group called the Velvet Season and the Hearts of Gold. So this is borderline risque. They also had a moniker called General Zod and Cougar Man.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, just to give you another flavor, on the more permissible side. But yeah, it's electronic. They do mashups. So this one I highly recommend if you can find it because it mashes up Queen's Another One Bites the Dust with Chick's Good Times. The time signature matches, and so it blends really well. And so, I mean, there's just 2 songs on each single, but they do some fantastic mashups, and then they do a lot of their own original work. But again, the covers are extremely risque, and I mean, these are the ones that I could probably get by with.
I wonder if that is a trend because I'm hooked on mashup records as well. I have plenty of them here in my collection, and all of them have risque covers. I couldn't show them here, really. I couldn't even show the labels on them, but they are absolutely fantastic. So I wonder if that's something you're obliged to put something risque on the cover on the mashup record.
You have to grab someone's attention.
To seek out to buy this.
But don't you think, and I remember, and you guys would know because you were DJing, but I always felt like in the early 90s, when you go to clubs, you buy any club music or anything, it was all these extreme, like, visual images of women or mannequins or something, like it was hypersexualized, like very, like, I don't know. It was that whole Club Kid era, like it all. I felt like it kind of started there, like whatever they could push. Which now you think back, you're like, whatever. But still,
another area where I could have gone down was Lords of Acid.
Oh yeah,
yes. Oh yeah.
So Lords of Acid, I have a few of their 12-inch singles, and they have some pretty risque covers.
But even still, probably not as bad as some. I mean, there's. I don't know. I think there's a lot more heavy metal and different things that were even more. Scandalous,
Well, you can only go to Cerrone's records, for example.
Yeah.
Every single Cerrone 12-inch album, you can't really show them on YouTube because you have to cover something.
And not the French versions for sure. Like the European versions are just absolutely.
I've never seen those. There you go.
They are bizarre. I have a few. Yeah, very odd. They're almost like a 70s take on like a Manet painting, like where it's all the men are clothed and the women are not. It's just like very odd.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very odd. And I forgot that you had different covers in the US, but you did. Yeah. They censored them. So
yeah, we're a little more conservative, at least at the time Cerrone was coming out. And even Cerrone, I don't know about you, Jen or Tim, but I never heard about Cerrone until I really got into DJing and I got into VC. And not a whole lot of people show Cerrone. I don't see a lot of people showing dance records at all.
No, I feel like Tobias and I talk about it, and we're almost like an island unto ourselves sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's the best stuff. And I remember my parents going to discos, and I think maybe we lived in Europe when I was a really little kid, and I don't know if they just picked some of that up or but there were things that I remember hearing, or that my mom and dad would be like, "Oh, we need to find this," or and not that that was easy, but then eventually when you could order stuff, I remembered names and or people like Grace Jones, or someone who you almost feel like they would take something from that scene or that European dance club vibe and bring it to the forefront. So when I would hear Supernature by Cerrone, for the longest time, I thought Grace Jones was singing on that song. Like I thought that is like the Grace Jonesiest song I have ever heard in my life. Like, like what album was that on? Like I thought it was her before I knew it was him. That was, you know.
All right. So the next question is, it's Beat. It can be the cover of the record, but I love it anyway. And so, Jen, I know you have some.
You've seen them, haven't you? It is so true. But this one, I think I have shown this one before. It's a fairly new acquisition, but it is pretty beat, and it's written on, and I love it. And it is Laibach and Sympathy for the Devil. This one, it's hard to tell. There's a radio station written there. The wear and tear on the side. I think there's pin marks on the back. Somebody was giving it 3 stars, 2 stars, whatever. All the way down. And it's just more writing. There's some stickers on there that I think, I'm wondering if because it was the radio station, like their labels. I had to put a new sleeve on the record because it was like shredded. I don't even think it was a thing anymore. But the record actually looks super good.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it's even hard to appreciate it on here, but it is very pretty, except for the writing on the label. But if you looked at the outside, you'd be like, I wouldn't pay 50 cents for that.
That's another one. I'm just amazed you found Laibach. Because they're here, and like nobody here in the United States really knows them. And I didn't know about them until 5 or 6 years ago.
Oh, really? Now, see, I knew about them because they were part of that. If you were up around in Chicago, Wax Trax, anything industrial, it was sort of like kind of brought in, and I was exposed to it up there. And I just, oh my God, I love them. Any of that genre of music. So finding it, like if I find one of these out somewhere, it can look even worse than this. And I don't think the camera does us justice as to how bad it really looks. It makes it look a lot prettier. I think my filter has really glammed them up a little, but I will buy it hands down. Even if it's not playable, I'm going to buy it. Like I don't care. So good. So
nice.
Yeah.
Tim, what do you got?
So I've got 2. One I'm going to show super fast just because I think the label is cool, but I mean it sounds like it's chicken frying in a grease pan. It sounds so bad. But this is, and I mentioned it at the beginning, Rapper's Delight, but I had never seen one on the Sugar Hill records with a red label. Nice. Usually all the Sugar Hill was like that teal blue with the candy colored everything. I had never seen one on just a red label before. And when I found it, I was like, I don't care if it plays or not, I gotta have it. But one that, because I had never seen this in the wild, and I'm probably sure I could order this. But it's one of those, it's so bad it's good, and it plays with pops and stuff. We all know the song Black Betty by Ram Jam. They did a disco version of it in the 80s with some sort of like bad techno synth drums and keyboard stabs behind it. But I didn't care. I was like, oh my God, I have to have this. So it came in one of the, like a plain white, whatever. I was like, I don't care. I have to have it. I have to hear how bad it is. But it's one of those, like, whoever came up with this idea, it must have been because there was a resurgence in the song from either rock radio or hip hop DJ sampling or whatever. And someone said, oh, we got to remix this to put it on 12-inch. And it's just as bad as you would think, but because it's so bad, it makes it great. But yeah, I don't think I could ever part with this. I would love to find one with the right cover or cleaned up, but to me, the pops and the sounds and the clicks add to the character.
So I'm curious, Tim, does that have the regular version of Black Betty on it?
Well, okay, so funny thing, it does. If you look on the B side, I'll try to hold it up right there. It says the regular version, the album version, not the single, is track 1. It's not. It's track 2. That's actually a misprint.
I love that
So
song.
I feel bad for someone who didn't preview their queuing and just put it on play the original version. No, you got something surprising. But no, it's got the album version on it as well. So if you were like, man, I just want to buy the album version for that one song, you don't care about anything else, get this. It's one of those ones that you can probably make your friends laugh when you put it on. Okay, now we'll play the real version. But it comes in and it's just it even starts off, I think, where you just hear him just repeating "Oh Black Betty," and I'm like, I don't even know what this is.
All right, Tobias.
Okay. I have a couple of beat up records here, but I went for this one. This is Berlin Sex, and you can already see here on the cover, it's pretty beat up. It's actually got water damaged at some point. I had it down in a cellar. I had a couple of vinyl records on storage in a cellar, and it got flooded. And this is what happened to it. Absolutely, it just falls apart, basically.
Oh, no.
Oh no.
And I had to put, this one wasn't originally in there, of course. It's me who put it there now, and I tried to clean it over the years, and it still sounds like a frying pan, but I love it.
That's
It's
cool,
a
though.
great one. I mean, sweeping synths, a thumping synth bass, Berlin's Sex, and a Pleasure Victim on the B-side. Absolutely fantastic record.
No, that's a fantastic song.
Yeah.
I was going to say, now I want to go chase that one down just for the instrumental. I mean,
Yeah.
the beat behind it is so good.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have it on an EP, I think, somewhere, but yeah, now I need that one.
Yeah. And it's a cool cover.
It is.
I
Yeah.
might opt for the one without the water damage, but I still like it's still good.
Yeah, opt in for a pristine one.
Yeah.
It will sound better.
Maybe.
So what do you have?
All right, so I've noticed a difference, and this is just interesting because of the cover stock that is used in the UK. Even getting boxes from the UK, there's less material. It's not as rigid, not as strong. And I have Too Shy by Kajagoogoo. I don't know how well this is going to show up on the camera. There's a bit of ring wear. It's a little bit dog-eared up on top. I had another one that had water damage. It was a techno album that I bought in Brussels, but I couldn't find it for this video. So this is what I had to go with. But yeah, the cover is beat. The record is actually in decent shape. But yeah, I love the midnight mix of this particular song.
That's great.
It's a good mix. Really
I've
good
got
one.
that one. I think yours might actually look better than my copy.
Really? All right.
But I think you're right, assuming that everything came in flimsy covers over here, because usually when I bought US imports, they were in these album sturdy covers kind of thing,
Yes.
even if it was 12-inch single. So I don't know why. They just spent more money on it in the US, probably.
Yeah, we're a little bit wasteful, but in some reasons it ended up in a good way. I mean, I like having a sturdier cover, but yeah, there's a lot of unique things coming out of Europe, but the cover material just isn't that great, and
No.
it shows its life for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just an envelope, and then you just slid in the record, and you could hear.
Yep.
And you're like, oh.
Absolutely.
All right. Next question is, show us a guilty pleasure or something that you think people would consider a guilty pleasure.
Well, it's a guilty
Yeah.
pleasure for me. And it's funny. I'm sure there are other things I could have picked, but I don't know that everybody would go like, "There's one I want to listen to," and I just love it. And that is Valley Girl from Moon Unit Zappa and Frank Zappa. I love this one so much. You can see I've got my initials because I took it to elementary school or wherever. Like,
Nice.
I was like, oh my God, you've got to hear this. I guess I think I've mentioned other videos. from kindergarten up to sixth grade, my elementary school was fairly cool, and that they would let us bring records, and that I brought a lot. Everybody was like, DJ Jen, what? See, I was a DJ. I didn't even know it.
There you go.
But I do remember, I was like, have you all heard this? And they're like, no. And I'm like, what's wrong with you? Like,
Well, your story about David Bowie is just fantastic.
oh yeah, I just, with crickets, and people are just going, like, someone else was like, here's my dolly and here's my silly putty. And I'm like, here's my Bowie record. I'm going to marry that boy. Yeah. But I loved this. And it has You Are What You Is on the back. It's got all the lyrics written on it. I remember going to the record store and being like, hello. And I thought that the fact that it's actually, who knows, maybe this is more beat up than my last one, but it had their kind of that Pumpkin Records.
Nice.
What is it? Barking Pumpkin Records.
Yep.
But I listened to this a ton. I still love it. Like, I can recite it backwards and forwards. I just thought it was the best. So, would not be unusual to be like, well, coming to a dinner party. Have you heard this little number? So that's kind of my guilty pleasure.
All right. Tim.
Now, for us, the four of us, this is not going to be a guilty pleasure. I kind of took it in the respect of the viewers and kind of the idea that there are certain words that most people in the vinyl community or YouTube might turn their nose up to. Disco. There is something magical when you take a 3-minute disco song, make it 12 to 14 minutes, let it play through the breaks and build up, and you add, here's 16 bars of the bass, and here's 16 bars of the bass and the keys, and 16 bars of the bass keys and whatever. And it just builds and builds and builds and builds. So this one is probably one of my favorite ones. This is Ain't No Stopping Us Now. So this is how you would get them, right? Back in the day, it was just generic company sleeve, throw it in there. The DJs would always put the little stickers on there so you could see what that was. But full 10 minutes, and it's like I can clean a house, because I'm dancing or whatever. To me, anytime I see a disco sing, like 70s, early 80s, like here's another one, Jam on It, in that company sleeve. Those disco songs really do hold up, and they have fantastic breaks and breakdowns and extended just instrumentals. It's totally worth the time.
Yeah, that Sunny View label, that was a huge one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are cool.
I
You
think
can't
that's
be disco. I
bias.
don't care what anybody says.
I think it's a really good choice. I actually had a disco on my list, but fortunately we don't have a crossover yet because I went for something completely different. But I do agree with you. Disco should get some more recognition out there. It's not shameful at all. But I used this one as my representation of a guilty pleasure. I really don't like the term guilty pleasure, but hey, we got it. We all know what it means. This is a good representation. Came out in 1996. Back in 1996, I was all about the techno, the trance scene, and all of that. But Gina G was, of course, the Eurovision entry that year for the UK. And you couldn't escape it. It's just an earworm, really. And just a couple of years ago, was it last year? I can't remember now. They reissued her album, which this one is featured on. And I was like, this is great stuff. It's just silly dance music from the late 90s, Europop, call it what you want. Great stuff. And then just shortly after, I found this one in a bargain bin, and I just had to pick it up. We got 4 mixes of
wow.
This.
So I got that album as a promo.
Oh, you did?
In a record store.
Yeah.
So I know the song perfectly.
Yeah, perfect.
Wow.
A bit Eurocentric here, but
yeah.
That's cool.
All right. If any of you guys know this one, I'll be surprised, but I have to describe it to you why it is it would turn people off if I played it. So there's a crooner in Austria, and he was actually based in Las Vegas, and he was doing like the sub circuit crooning, but he went back to Austria, and he kind of got a second life as a electronic chill wave artist. And this is Louis Austin with his song Disco Dancer. So imagine a 70, 75-year-old guy singing to electric beats, and just the refrain is, I'm a disco dancer. I'm a disco dancer. So the cover sums it up perfectly. I will tell you, most people would not be into it, but I just really dig the lyrics and the way he sings it. It just works for me.
That's
It's
great.
not going to be for everyone. And there's a couple different versions of it on here.
It's a great
that
cover.
Yeah, it's it can be found cheap if anyone is curious.
Yeah.
I was going to say the cover alone selling me on it, so I may have to look for this.
Totally.
That's
That's
great.
awesome.
Right. So the next question, folks were a little bit challenged to understand, and I get that. So, so I really was looking for sell me on a single. So it could be like a B-side that never made it to an album, or it could be an artist that nobody knows, but you really want to sell one particular song of an artist. So, Jen, what do you got?
Okay, so I picked Mix Factory's "Take Me Away." I don't know if any of you guys might. Do you all know Mix Factory?
It's new to me.
Okay, I cannot tell you in 91, 92, maybe. I would run to the DJ booth wherever club I was at. I'm like, "Do you have Mix Factory?" Like that song, it is the most danceable, fun, like freeing song. It's got all the great beats that you want in a dance song. It has imagine I'm in a club and I'm like, I hear this come on, and they'll be like, Jen, this one's for you. And I'm on a box, like above everybody else, just like, woo! That was this for me. This particular single, actually, a friend of mine, college roommate, he went out to Las Vegas, I think. When he came back, he's like, I got something for you. I never could find this anywhere. This has 8 versions of Take Me Away on it.
Wow.
8 versions.
8 versions.
That's getting your money's worth.
And yeah, I know. And the thing is I think it's like the first one and maybe the In Trance 24-hour mix or what, I don't know. I'm trying to remember which one I listened to the most. Probably just even the original one. Maybe it's the second or third one on this 11th hour mantra. Who knows? It's all good. But at that time, it was all about taking the one song and then they'd slow it down and then they'd speed it up. But I don't think you can mess with perfection. The first version, the original version of this song, I think is one of my absolute favorites, but it has that just sped up organ and that wonderful voice, like of the female voice that would sing over the top of these dance tracks that just, oh my God, I get chills just thinking about it. I love this song so much. I probably will play it when I'm done. Why not? It'll take me away, like Calgon, take me away. This would have been a much better theme song for that commercial. I don't know. If you never heard it, I suggest please do. And I don't think there's any other albums. It was all tracks written by Higgins, MacArthur, and Williamson with Allison Williamson on vocals. And I don't know that this was ever recorded. I don't know that they ever had an album.
Yeah.
I've looked and I don't know. So, but I love this. This is it.
Is it on Discogs?
It is on Discogs, but I don't remember seeing anything else linked to it, or if they had any other singles, but like a full kind of album, like a Moby would put out or something. Like I don't recall seeing. So maybe I'm not looking correct, but I don't think so.
All right, I'm going to have to sample it.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, look it up. Tell me which of the 95 versions you like. But yeah, Mix Factory, Take Me Away. So good.
All right.
Nice.
Hence the Calgon reference.
I know.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, if you know, you know. Right after you're watching Price is Right, usually I had,
Yep. All right, Tim.
So I got to preface it. I'm going to try to keep it as short as possible. I'm originally from right outside of Washington, D.C. And in that D.C. metro area, we were lucky enough to have a movement of music all to ourselves. And it was called go-go music. So go-go music was kind of an amalgamation of jazz and funk and a little bit of R&B, a little bit of rock. It all focused on the drum being right in the pocket. And everything was still on the funk on the one. You had a horn section, you had congos. For those of you who may not be familiar with go-go, the song "Pump Me Up" by Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, that samples go-go. In fact, it samples Trouble Funk's "Pump Me Up." EU's "The Butt." So yeah, there's a couple. Kid Rolling with Kid and Play used go-go. Salt and Pepper used go-go. It was really a dance in and of itself. It was a dance movement. One of the biggest people ever out of the go-go scene was a guy named DJ Cool, and you might remember his song "Let Me Clear My Throat," where they would use, it was like "Let Me Clear My Throat," and then it would play like that Ed Lover dance song from Yo MTV Raps. So he was actually a local DJ in DC, and he had a few singles. And one of them is this song called "How Low Can You Go?" So it's over a traditional go-go beat, which again, congos, drums, all on the one, but it was a cut and paste kind of like DJ routine with him rapping over top of it. He had a couple of those. They had Music Ain't Loud Enough. He had one with a reggae beat called The Reggae Dance. So he was really popular in the DC metro area, but really you can jump anywhere into go-go music and Trouble Funk. There's Rare Essence. I got a few other ones here, all these labels, but everybody knows DJ Cool. Well, you probably know DJ Cool from that "Let Me Clear My Throat" song. And he actually has a wonderful backstory. He's got a ton of great singles. But go-go in and of itself, I can't speak highly enough of it. It's a great, when you hear it, you got to get up and dance. It's danceable, upbeat, jazz influenced funk.
Sounds
Old.
perfect.
All right, Tobias.
Well, I'm going to go Eurocentric again here. This is Biba, or Bibba. I'm not really sure. I think her real name was Barbara York or something like that. Top model from 1987. She only released 2 singles. This is probably her last one, unfortunately. Great voice, and we're talking Italo disco here. I don't know if anyone could see. Here we go. There's the sticker. It says, "I love Italo disco." This is a reissue from a couple of years ago. I wasn't aware of Bibba back in the day. Unfortunately, I listened to quite a lot of Italo disco in the 80s, but this one passed me by, and I was so glad that this one came my way. Huge Italo disco track. Once again, we're talking disco here in the way that only Italians could produce disco. A lot of orchestral hits mixed in with great drum machines, great sweeping synths. But Biba's voice is outstanding, a powerful voice. She could be in a rock band, actually. So she brings the rockier bit to this one. So it's actually a unique blend of pure Italo disco and rock, really. And I do believe in one of these versions here, you do have a guitar solo as well. So great stuff. You have to check this one out. I always could recommend Italo disco from many different artists, but this one is very unique in my opinion.
So was it extremely popular?
I think perhaps it might have been very popular in Italy at the time, and perhaps in Germany. Germany was a real big growing ground for Italo disco in the 1980s. And of course, we were exposed to it as well in Sweden through German imports and things like that. But yeah,
no, it's Europe was spared the disco backlash that
Yep.
America got, and we got very anti-disco in the 80s. So there was a lot that we just totally missed out on. And like Italia disco is huge, and it's something that I just have not delved super deep into. So yeah, I'm gonna check that one out.
Yeah, do it. Perfect, Biba. Top model. Not very deep when it comes to the lyrics.
Yeah.
But hey, we're talking disco here. It's all about dancing and feeling fine and enjoying life.
Sold.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure most of the disco songs they just wrote the lyrics on a napkin. I mean, it
Yeah.
didn't.
Exactly. And you don't care. I mean, me not having English as my first language, lyrics has never been that prominent to me, never been that important. It was first when I was in my later teens, teenage years, that I started picking up on the lyrics from Depeche Mode and things like that, because there's deeper meaning behind a lot of it. But
Right.
up to that point, I was like, yeah, it's got a good hook. I'm good with that, and I'm still that way today when I listen to a lot of music. If the hook sells me, the melody sells me, I'm gonna buy it.
So Tobias, I speak English, and I don't even pay attention half the time. To me, it's more about the music.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, you really think if more people paid attention to lyrics, like Relax may not have been so popular.
Well, yeah, it's
True.
like, well, when that song came out, it just like it went over my head, and then it's like
Yeah.
as you got older, and it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
and
it's like somebody's
I always think back to
80-year-old
that time,
grandma
and it's
going,
like you
Frank,
would-
you say relax. You're like, no.
It's the opposite. Whatever gets your your blood running or boiling.
A good beat.
Yeah.
Yep.
Disco, thank you.
Mhm.
All right. So, are you guys all familiar with the movie Superman 2?
Yes.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
All right. So, one of my favorite bands is a group called Bent, and they came out with this single, and they went under the name Johnny Flash and the Flames, and the song is called "Irritating Noises." And the contrast to what you just mentioned, Tobias, this is all about the lyrics, because if you've seen Superman 2, it's about his relationship with Lois Lane, and it's such a bizarre song because it's electronic, as Ben is an electronic duo, but they sing it in under a vocoder in a country style. and the lyrics are all about Superman 2. So if that doesn't sell you, I don't know what will.
Oh, you sold me on that one.
Totally.
Yes.
Yeah,
All
now
right.
I have to know.
Yeah, right.
I recommend checking it out.
Yeah.
And the single actually has a full-fledged demo of them in the studio working it out, and it ends with irritating noises. Like things crashing and other things that, yeah, it's amusing.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
It's the best pitch of the evening.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
I'm sold.
now all of a sudden Discogs prices are going to skyrocket because so many have been sold.
Well, no, it's weird because they had this numbered. I don't know if that's going to come out. This is number 323, but I think you can get them for like $2. I mean,
Yeah.
because nobody knows what it is.
Right.
That's great. Now they do.
Yes.
Yeah, they do.
All right, Jen. So this was a good question. So you want to know how people organize their 12-inch singles.
Yeah.
So how do you have yours organized?
Well, I have mine organized alphabetically, which means not just by artist, but if I have just one, like Mix Factory, it's in with the M's, you know? But when I'm looking, I don't know, when I'm pulling these out, and I had to pull up Discogs to kind of remember, and I thought, man, if I'd have kept them separate, but then I want a lot, like my Susie and the Banshees, I'd want with Susie and the Banshees. And then I'm like, I don't.
So are they totally, are your 12-inch singles separate from everything else, or are you intermixed?
No, they're in with everything. So
Okay.
it will go alphabetically. And every now and then I'll be like, I'm going to group all the Susie, 12 inches together from the earliest to the latest at the end of the album run. And then sometimes I'll be like, no, I'm going to put it in behind the album that it would correspond to.
All right.
So
that's good. You're showing some personalization of how you organized.
Well, I think the way my records are organized is already controversial enough as it is. However, I don't know. There has to be a better way. And I mean, because then when you go to find the one, like if I just had to look for 12 inches, so when I have my massive rave dance party, I need to be able to just quickly grab all these records. And I can't do that today.
All right, Tim, how about you?
So my 12 inches are they're all separate. I keep them all in their own separate section, and it is by genre. So hip hop or go-go or rock or disco or whatever. But I even go a step further, and because I used to be a DJ, and this all looks all wonderful and pretty, I keep it in a paper sleeve, where the paper sleeve, all I have to do is pull the record out and I'm ready to go, because I'm so used to like dog earing it on the crate so I can pull the record and go. I can't let go of that filing system when it comes to singles, because the singles for me were the format of choice when I was DJing. So yeah, and then like I said, it's alphabetical. I will say when I was DJing, it would have been even worse to talk about because it was in BPM.
Yeah.
I kept everything, 87, 89, 92, up to whatever it was, 120 or whatever it was. The only thing that breaks that, and I didn't bring it in here because it's massive, I got a pile about this big of the traditional Sugar Hill Records in the matching company sleeve. All of those get filed together because I just love seeing that section of blue.
Yeah. That's pretty good though.
All right, Tobias, how about you?
Well, I keep most of my 12-inch singles alphabetically along with all my other records. The only ones that are separated are the techno and house records because they are all over the place. I have some in, these aluminium carrying cases, sturdy cases. They're all around this room, and I have some in a different Kallax here. So I separate the dance records basically, but that's basically it. Otherwise, the 12 inches are mixed up with the rest of my records. Alphabetically, not mixed up, but
okay. Yeah, so I'll say for me, for the most part, I have them all separated out. But I have it kind of niched in subgenre. So I'd say the most 12-inch singles that I do have are from the 80s new wave era. And then I have a bunch from 90s, 2000s beyond, which is dance house, industrial. And so, when I DJ nowadays, it's a DJ party for one, which is myself. So when the family's out, I crank it up to 11. And really, I'm a mood-based listener. So if I strike the mood and I want to hear the 80s new wave sound, then it's like I'm pulling out those singles and I'm just cranking it.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Yeah.
And they're quick to find. So that's good. Yeah. See?
Yeah. Somebody came to my house. They're like, oh, what is this? It's like I mentioned when we were setting this up, it's like I have all of my Jazz Impulse records together and they have all the orange and black spines. And it's like when I've done videos where you can see them, I get comments like, why do you do that? Why don't you do it alphabetically? All right. Next question is the object of my desire, the next single that you're on the hunt for. So Jen, tell us what you're looking for.
So I had this on CD single, which can you call a CD a 12-inch single? debate for another show. But I had this on CD single. I would love it on vinyl. I do not know if it exists. I've never looked. I adore Moby's Go, the Rainforest mix. You talk about another like club favorite, like please, please, please play this song for me. And I could listen to that. Like to this day, if anybody hears that song, sometimes they'll text me or call me and they're like, thinking of you. And they'll like extend it. Cause I was just like, I would not shut up about Moby's Go. I'm like, have you heard Go? Have you heard Go? Have you heard this Go? I want to hear Go. I mean, literally, it was that bad. They're just like, go already. But yeah, I would love to find that. And I don't know if it exists. I guess I've never looked. I sort of resolved myself to the fact that maybe I'd never see one. I can't even find an original Moby album like easily. So why would I be able to find that?
That's actually a good point, because I don't, when I go out shopping, it's rare to find Moby records in the wild.
Oh, yeah. Not even a reissue. Like I've had terrible luck.
Yeah.
But I have it on CD, so I keep playing it. But when I really think about it, one that I'm missing, that would be it.
All right, Tim, how about you?
So going through this, I thought I had, and I mentioned it earlier with the Rocket single, I thought I had that mega mix that Grand Mixer DST did of all these great futuristic Herbie Hancock songs from that era. I thought I had it. I don't, so I got to look for that. But one that I've been trying to chase down, and it's funny because I have it on album, is the DJ Shadow What Does Your Soul Look Like 12-inch. And what's funny is that it's different. There are different songs and versions than what was on the album, because he kind of repurposed and renamed them for the introducing album. And I just want that 12-inch. I have it. I have them on a separate album. Doesn't matter. I don't need the music, but that's the disease in this collecting thing. Gotta have the single. Oh, there's a different picture. Oh, I'll take that. Oh, there's a special remix that only somebody made and it was only 300 copies and it was a promo and it's $300. Oh, of course I gotta have that now. It's a sickness. And people tell me, always ask me, should I get into collecting singles? No, it's the worst thing ever. And it's bad enough trying to collect LPs. You add 12 inches and 45s to this, forget sanity.
All right, Tobias, how about you?
Well, it's yet another. I have plenty of wanted records, really, but I will go with one dance record again. This is Progressive House from 1992. From Jacko on the Warp Records label, Show Some Love. It's got the Rhythm Invention remix on it that is absolutely out of this world. I got it on a compilation back in the 90s, but hunting down an original copy of the 12-inch of it has been really difficult. It's not being sold that often, and if it is, it's in really bad shape. We're talking Berlin kind of stuff that I just showed you, and it's pretty expensive as well. But yeah,
well, like how much are they going for?
I think around 60-70 pounds sometimes, so
okay.
It's around that, and it might not sound that much to a lot of people, but hey, we're talking 3 tracks here, or at the most 4.
But it's a personal passion, so it's okay.
That's
of course, yeah. But I haven't seen one crop up in really good condition so far, so I would be prepared to perhaps pay £40 for it. Yeah.
Well, if I see one, I'm going to snag it for you.
Oh, thank you. Please do.
I'll snag one for you too, but I'll listen first, and then you can have
it. Yeah.
All right. So for me, probably the next thing. So I've been collecting Depeche Mode's singles, and I really like how Depeche Mode did it, because the single was kind of its own. They made it its own unique thing. And I mean, the singles were like 25 minutes. So I am trying to get the singles from the Violator album. Yeah. That's my next goal, is to try and get the 3 big singles off of that album. But yeah, I like Depeche Mode.
That's my favorite Depeche Mode song. One of my favorite. In Your Room and Stripped are my 2.
Yeah. Yep.
God. Yeah. So good.
All right. So
Well,
last question.
I have to say, because I think earlier, like on one of the questions, were you going to go with the last question, or do you have another question?
I was going to go with the last one, but I'll let you go.
Well, no, only because this has been killing me. So we had talked maybe at one time about doing odd CDs or CDs, 12 inches.
Right.
But I have to say, I had a couple over here that were like, I didn't know which way I was going to go. And I just wanted Tim to know that I have. and was this only made for DJs?
No, that was actually sold in stores.
Oh, okay. Because that's why I was like, I don't know, like if it's available or not. I didn't know if it was only a DJ mix. It sounds when you drop the needle, it's like something you would listen to at like on like an Atlanta radio. Like I said, when I drove through Atlanta and I was hearing Rocket for the first time, like, so, I mean, I've had this for a little bit, but you kept saying it and saying it. I just wanted to show.
Yeah, no, yeah.
It is really good.
Yeah, I remember I went to the store looking for the Rocket single, and they had that, and I was like, "Oh, it's got Rocket on it."
Yeah.
And I took it home and I bought it, and I mean, and I must have drove everyone in the house crazy with it as a kid because I played it so much. And what I like about it was a great introduction to that soundscape that Herbie Hancock was on at that time, and it really incorporated some of those elements that, you know, with that breakdancing movement and the electro funk movement. It was one of those things that's just absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
And honestly, you could probably get it on Discogs for a few bucks. It's not expensive.
I can't remember. I got it this year. I mean, I haven't had it forever, but
right.
I didn't pay a ton for it when I got it. I can't remember if I got it at a record show or a store. I have to go back and watch an episode and figure out where I got it. But it's super good. And it just has that vibe to it. Like you say, there's just, it's different. It's just laid out different. It presents different. It sounds different. And it's because, you know, he's on there, you know, Grand Mixer DST.
Yeah.
It just has that stamp of somebody, and it's very specialized. So it's kind of cool, you know, to hear that take. But you mentioned that, I was like, oh, I just kept looking at it. I was like, I see it. It's right there. I see it. So I had to share.
See, everybody, I'm not making it up. It really does exist.
It does exist. Great minds. See, we're all on this. You know, if we're crossing over, that almost.
There you go. Almost did. Almost.
All right. Last question. Your last 12-inch single pickup. And Jen, I know you have quite a few.
And I just bought 4 more yesterday, but I stopped.
Nice.
All right.
I grabbed the very last one I bought that I'm showing is the one that I had just bought when we spoke and you had laid out the list. So I just said, I'm keeping it there because I knew I went to a record show yesterday. But this one I was super excited about because it has it's called the Deep Reds Voodoo Funk Mix, and it's Jane's Addiction. So what? So this is the very last one that I picked up, and it's so good. Talk about funk. I love think funky, and Jane's definitely has that going for them. They have that quality throughout all their music. So this was a nice surprise. Again, something I don't see a lot of, even for this area. And I feel like Jane's Addiction was so popular that I would find more, but I don't. Maybe people bought more tapes or CDs or something. I know when Nothing Shocking came out, I don't know, I think I got it on LP and then I bought the CD. And then, of course, the next albums I bought all on CD. So finding replacements on vinyl have kind of been a thing. But this was so great. But Deep Red's Voodoo Funk Mix is the first song on side 1, and that is super good. So that's my favorite.
Nice. I got to say, that's the first time I've ever seen a Jane's Addiction single.
Really?
Yeah, I guess there's another area where you're going to get into trouble.
Been Caught Stealing, and
yeah, I had that one.
I think Mountain, or I can't remember. I think I have a couple others. And then I had some like on like CD singles, like but it was such a weird compilation. And I'd seen pictures of this somewhere before. I'd never actually seen one until I saw it in the store. So, and it's in pretty good shape, and it was a promo copy. So maybe that's why. Maybe it was more shipped to specialty retailers, or, somebody didn't scribble, something all over, like, so you know what radio station it was for. So that's good.
Right. Nice.
But I was going to say the same. I never encountered any Jane's Addiction singles at all.
It's crazy.
12 inches, especially. I mean,
Wow.
Who remixed that? That Deep Red.
Oh, good.
Can
gravy.
you see it?
It says, okay, Jane's Addiction, So What? The Deep Red remixes, produced by David Friedman and Perry Farrell. Remixes by Deep Red, which is
Okay, so
Mikhail
it's just Deep Red.
Johnston,
Okay.
Barry Eves, Orpheus Dejeuner, and additional productions by Mephisto Odyssey.
Never heard of them.
Nothing.
But that's interesting.
Yeah. They give a few other names on here, but those were kind of like the out of the gate first ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fun. I like it. It's funky.
All right, Tim, how about you?
So recently picked up, it was like a couple weeks ago, I think it came in or whatever. It's the single for The Far Side, Passing Me By. It was probably one of their biggest, at least as far as for longevity, songs off of their first album. And what I really wanted it for was the B side. There was a non-album cut called Pork. And I'm a huge Far Side guy. And I brought this one because I almost showed it as, a record that's beat. But and I got to tease you with it, Paul.
Oh, yeah, that's one of the ones I'm looking for.
Since we're just taunting each other today, apparently, I have to agree. Violator is, I think. You can't ignore the fact that this was definitely a breakout album for Depeche Mode in that sound. It was still dark and ominous, but danceable. The themes were still very heavy, but there was such a driving force to this album, and all the singles off of this are just absolutely fantastic. And I found this one, like, I think I got this for like $3. The vinyl's decent, the cover's a little beat up, but I couldn't not show it after you just said you were on the hunt for it. I wouldn't send this to VCLT to anybody because it's so beat up. But it's one of those ones that era of Depeche Mode, you just so good.
Yeah, but if it plays well, who cares?
Exactly.
And that, you know what? And that's something that we never really mentioned, is that you can take a punt on a VG single and it sounds better than some LPs still. The grooves are more durable, they're wider, they can handle a little bit more abuse. I've seen some that have the telltale signs of being in a DJ club with stickers all over them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You clean them up and they still play good.
Nice.
Absolutely.
All right, Tobias, how about you?
I'm going to taunt you as well. I just grabbed something.
You probably, oh yeah. Nice.
And that is, of course, it's not going to show up well here, but it's
Oh,
edged.
it's edged.
It was.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Got to get that one, the chord mix. No, that's not the one I picked up. I just had to I'm pretty good nowadays to put everything that I buy into Discogs, but sometimes I do forget and I have to backtrack. So when I pick it up to play it, I always check Discogs as well. See, did I put it in? Yeah, I did. So I couldn't really go by Discogs, what I picked up most recently, but I do think it's this one. And talking about Chet Pettibone as well. This is Paul McCartney. I already got this one in a different sleeve. So there we go. Figure of 8. And I will try this one. Is it Où est le soleil?
Yeah.
Where is the sun?
Where's the sun?
Yeah.
Yep.
And this is, once again, and I didn't plan this.
Ooh, nice.
So it's a single side. So you do get Figure of Eight, which is a great song in its original. It's from 1989, from Flowers in the Dirt. And this is a different mix of it, different remix, really. But the second track, which is the French track that I just tried to pronounce, Où les Soleils, is Shep Pettibone mix of it.
That's
A
cool.
really good one. Pretty Shep Pettibone like. Is that yeah? You can't tell straight away, but it's got a very airy tone to it and a lot of percussion bits in it. Of course, it's just a great record, really.
I'm not even familiar with the original song.
No, you have to check it out.
Yeah.
That is actually a non-album track as well.
Okay.
Où les Soleils.
I'll be sure to check that one out. That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Paul McCartney. Discovered his solo greatness a little bit over 10 years ago, and I never stopped buying records since then by him. So,
All right.
yeah.
All right. So my last one actually came in about a couple of weeks ago, and this is a Portuguese group called Machina, and they have a song called Misfit. And Machina, they're an interesting group. So this has elements of rock and industrial. So it has a heavy, deep bass line that I don't know. It just repeats, but it's an earworm. So if you're more on the industrial rock side of things, then this might be up your alley. They're a relatively new band that I just discovered on the Fuzz Club label, and I'm a big fan of that label in general. So yeah, Machina, definitely check it out.
Is
Yeah.
that on Bandcamp?
Yes, they are on Bandcamp. In fact, if you want to sample the single or even pick it up as a digital, it's only like £2.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's cool.
I'll check
All
that
right.
one out.
You know, I was looking at the back when Tobias held up that disc, and I know some of the longer albums have done it too. It's not just unique to 12-inch singles, but it got me thinking because I had another one here. It was a Robert Palmer 12-inch, which is plain on the side. So there's absolutely nothing on this one. I wonder when they started adding something texturally to the backs of those records. I mean, obviously, when you have one to play, you can really tell pretty quickly that it's something to play. If you're in the dark, maybe you'll never. But
Yeah.
I wonder, like, if texture became.
Yeah, that's kind of an interesting question. When did they start doing etchings like that? And
Yeah, I don't know.
think just from my own personal collection, the first one I came across was in the 90s, but
Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
know if they existed beforehand.
Yeah, and this
Well,
was for us. That was a single for Johnny and Mary. So I mean, this is older, obviously, but
Well, I do remember in the 80s, there were etchings you could play on. Like Styx Paradise Theater
Yeah.
had an etching around the side, but then there was
Yeah.
a Split Ends record, and I can't remember the name of it. It's the one where the lines are kind of going in different directions. That had an etching on one of the sides as well, the same design that was on the cover. But as far as for like deep enough to where it wasn't, it was more artistic and not playable. That's interesting. I have no idea.
I think the first one I saw must have been either this one that I just showed you to tease you, the Depeche Mode one, or Jean-Paul Gaultier's That's the Way You Do It, 12-inch that he came up with. Believe
Did
it
he
or
make
not, Jean-Paul Gaultier.
no way.
Yeah, it's a great one. I still got it here somewhere. But,
I am not
Love
familiar
him.
with that one at all.
No.
yeah. You have to check it out. It's Jean-Paul drop in some rhymes in French.
I'm sure that's interesting. Does he do it in French?
Now he's speaking in very broken English.
Yeah.
But it's a fun, it's a bit of a novelty house record, really. But,
Yeah.
that was probably the first time I saw an etching on at the record.
Yeah, that would be
Yeah, it's
interesting to listen
interesting.
to, but if it's broken English, it probably wouldn't work over here, which is unfortunate. And
No.
we're very isolated here in the United States, so if it's in a foreign language, then it's unlikely. I mean, there are some exceptions, but yeah, if it's not in English, it likely will not be played,
No.
which is sad.
Correct.
Yeah, well, he tries at least to speak English on that one, but yeah.
Well, I think that just goes to show you when you're really successful in one field and you meet probably a lot of people, his networking skills were like,
Yeah.
it's pretty good.
All right. So thank you all for doing this today, and Jen for urging me to get out of my video making shell.
Yay. I'm glad you did.
Yeah.
Thank you for organizing it. You did a great job. It's good.
Yeah.
This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I like these because of the exchange, and I like being a little bit organized too. So yeah, thank you so much, all of you, for participating today.
This is what the journey is all about, our musical journey that we're on here. What a great time I had, what a great bunch of people, and talking about my favorite subject, the 12-inch single. I really hope you enjoyed this as well, and thank you for staying to the end. I hope it was well worth it. I do believe so myself, because this was some really interesting and fun discussions that we had. And I hope this will go forth, so the Vinyl Bunch won't stop here. There will be more. I really hope so. But thank you once again, Paul, for arranging this, and thank you to Tim and Jen for including me in this brilliant discussion. I had such a great time. Yeah. And of course, there's more collabs to look forward to. We have this new series, the ongoing series here on my channel with me and my dear friend Mikael from Sweden, the Swedish Connection. And I can hardly stitch together words here anymore, because it's even later here now in the UK when I'm recording this. But I want to say a big thank you once again to all of you who stayed for this whole video. And please remember to go and check out the other guys' channels. They do some brilliant work here on YouTube. Yeah, but that's it. I want to wish you all a good night. I'm gonna sleep very well tonight, I'm sure. And until next time, you all take care of yourself. And as usual, I'm gonna bid you a very heartfelt adieu to you all.